Hey YouTube, what's going on? I know it's been a while since I made a video, about a couple days, like let me think, a week or so. But I've been busy with work and all that stuff. I'm not gonna get into, all that crap. But a lot of my subscribers, a lot of you guys have been asking me, what are my beliefs? Am I an atheist? Am I a theist? What are my beliefs on God and things like that? And so I thought I would make a video about it. And also I've written down some notes, different things that I was thinking about that I wanted to go over with you guys. But before I get into that, I made this scale to better describe my beliefs. And I actually got the idea from this book right here called The God Delusion. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. It's by Richard Dawkins. It's a pretty good book. It makes you think. The scale goes from 0 to 10. 0 being atheism, 5 being agnostic, and 10 being theism or being a theist. And so if I had to describe myself on that scale, I would say I am somewhere between a 0 and a 1. Meaning, I'm pretty sure there is no God. I'm pretty sure He doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean that I am correct. I accept the fact that I could be wrong, but I am 99% sure there is not one. There is simply not enough evidence for me to believe in a God. I know a lot of religious people would say something like, well, what about the way the universe is so complicated? What about the way everything is so complicated? They would use the classical argument of intelligent design to say that things are just too complicated to have occurred naturally, so therefore that's evidence for God alone. And I would say something like, that is completely absurd. Just because I can't explain something doesn't mean that a magical sky daddy created it. Let me use an example. Say someone broke into your apartment. You came home one day, someone broke into your apartment. All your furniture was gone. Everything was gone. I mean, it was graffiti all over the walls. All your furniture was, some of your furniture was smashed. Your dishes were smashed. Everything was just completely, messed up. You wouldn't say something like, I can't explain what happened. I don't know what happened, so God did it. No, you wouldn't do that. What you would do is you would call the police, have them do an investigation. They would ask you questions like, does anybody have your key? Do you know anybody that would do this? Who else lives here? They would ask a lot of questions. They would do an investigation and to figure out what happened. And that's the way I feel with everything. That's the way I feel with reality, That's the way I feel with any complicated subject. You investigate. You do research. You try to figure out what's going on. You don't just jump to conclusions, especially conclusions like, I can't explain why flowers grow. So a magical sky daddy did it. I mean, that's absurd. I don't know if you ever heard of the argument of the God of the Gaps perspective, but it basically says that anytime you can't explain something in science, any gaps in science automatically means that God did that, or the answer is automatically God. We can't explain right now why. We can't explain dark matter. We can't explain why the universe is expanding the way it is. We have theories, yeah, but we can't really accurately, explain what dark matter, what's happening with dark matter, why is the universe accelerating rapidly, and all that stuff. So we just can't explain it. But I don't think we should automatically assume, God did this. A sky daddy did this. Jesus did this. Whoever you want to talk, whoever you want to say did it. Poseidon, Thor, Wotan, Hanuman, any of these deities. It's absurd to believe that, a God did this instead of just trying to investigate and find answers to what happened. So I was raised in a Christian household, and some Sundays I was forced to go to church, but it never felt right to me. When I would sit in church and listen to the pastor, it didn't feel right. It didn't sound right. It just didn't feel right to me as a person. And basically, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. At one point, I did believe in God. I did believe in the Bible, but that was because I was basically conforming to what my family wanted me to be, and I was conforming to what my family believed. I guess just to fit in, just to not be ostracized, I guess. But The moment that I started reading the Bible is the moment that I lost faith. The stories in the Bible don't correspond to reality. I don't understand how anyone could believe in it. I don't understand how any sane, rational, and sober person could believe in the Bible. And I also don't understand how any black person could believe in the Bible when the Bible was used to justify enslaving our ancestors, and it was forced on our ancestors. I don't understand how any black person could believe in the Bible. That just goes beyond me. So now I want to get to some notes that I wrote down. I'm not trying to make this video long, but if it comes out that way, so be it. Whatever. The multitude of atrocities committed by the Christian deity amazes me. But what amazes me more is the notion that Christians see any action done by God as intrinsically good. Any competent, sane, and morally conscious person would agree that murder is wrong. But if God is the murderer, then it is somehow justified. If I unleashed a pack of wild bears on a group of children, you will probably call me evil, sick, crazy, and you will most likely send me to prison for the rest of my life. But in the Bible, God did that exact scenario. God sent 2 bears to attack and mangle 42 children because they made fun of his prophet Elijah for being bald. If you don't see anything wrong with this scenario, then you are either mentally retarded or morally reprehensible. I've actually read that verse to a few Christians, and they actually told me that it's okay, God did the right thing by sending 2 bears to kill 42 children because they disrespected him and they disrespected Elijah. And that was one problem that I had with the Bible. In order to believe it, in order to believe the Bible, you have to bend and twist your morals for it to make any sense. And that's something that I won't do. Killing kids is never right, and I don't care who does it. You, me, God, whoever. It's not right. So once I got older and I actually started reading the Bible for myself and doing research and investigations about where the book came from, how was it created, the type of people who would actually write these stories, I automatically knew this was fake. Once I read it, it's no way you can read this book and believe it. There's no way any sane person can read this book and believe it. I mean, this whole book is nothing. It's full of nothing but murder, crazy Bronze Age rules. There are actually something like over 600 sins in the Bible. This pamphlet, pretty much a damn book. I got this offline. It's all the sins in the Bible. It's about over, I don't know, I'm not sure the exact number, but it's over 600 sins in the Bible. And a lot of these are just ridiculous. Abortion is a sin. Astronomy and astrology is a sin. Cross-dressing is a sin. Adultery is a sin, which is also accompanied by getting stoned to death or basically killed for cheating on your husband. Wearing clothes made from different blends like wool and linen, and mixing different fabrics together is a sin. Eating pork is a sin. Touching pigskin is a sin also. So that means a lot of the NFL players are going to hell. Well, at least the ones that actually used to use the pigskin balls, they're going to hell. Also, anybody who enjoys a BLT is going to hell. Eating shrimp and lobster is a sin. Women getting your hair done, wearing expensive clothes, wearing jewelry is a sin. Being fat is a sin, basically greedy. Being fat is a sin. Grabbing a man's balls is a sin, which is also punishable by getting your hands cut off. Being gay is a sin. Not being perfect is a sin. Enjoying your life is a sin. Making jokes is a sin. Having sexual fetishes is a sin. Cursing is a sin. Being part of any other religion other than Christianity is a sin. So if the Bible was right, pretty much everybody on earth is going to hell. Everybody pretty much in the Middle East and mostly everybody in China and all the other countries are going to hell because they believe in the wrong religion. All the Hindus, all the Muslims, everybody is going to hell. If the Bible is right, of course. Luckily, it's not. And these are the ridiculous things that Christians believe. And the Bible was completely fine with slavery. That's why I said I don't understand how any black person can be a Christian. The Bible says that slavery is okay. It even goes on to say how you can beat your slave, when you can have sex with them. The Bible is completely fine with killing kids and stoning them to death. I mean, how can you believe this? How can you believe this? The Bible wants all women to be subservient to men. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous that people believe this stuff. The Bible actually says that a woman who gets raped and doesn't scream out for help deserves to be stoned to death. So basically, if you rape a woman and cover up her mouth, she deserves to get stoned to death. Or if she just can't speak, let's say she has some sort of illness. So let's say, I don't know, you slice her throat and she can't scream because you just sliced her throat. She deserves to be stoned to death. And to put the icing on the cake, the Bible says that if a man rapes a woman who is not married and who is a virgin, he has to marry her. So ladies, if you've ever been raped while you were a virgin and unmarried, sorry, but you got to marry your rapist. Oh, and the guy has to pay the father of the girl that got raped like a couple silver coins, and it's all good. I mean, the whole religion is sick. It's based off of human sacrifice. Jesus died supposedly for all of mankind, as if his death made anything better. The world is still full of disease, famine, rape, murder, genocide. I mean, the world is a very terrible place if you actually begin to analyze it. What did his death accomplish? Nothing. And then all of the atrocities that God has committed in the Bible. I mean, what did God do? He killed all the firstborn children of Egypt. God turned Lot's wife into a pillar of salt for looking behind her at the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Not to mention he killed everyone in those towns, cities. The Great Flood, aka the flood of Noah, he killed how many? Who knows? Some people would say the whole world. Some people say just a local area. But he at least killed thousands of people. I mean, this book is full of nothing but war. This book is full of nothing but war, killing, medieval Bronze Age rules. Just crazy stuff. It's completely crazy. And once I actually started to read the history behind it, once I got books like this, Who Wrote the Bible? Once I got a book like this, and I actually started to read and learn that this was basically man-made and rewritten, basically written to control society, control people, and to make money. Once you begin to do the history, there is no way any logical person, any mentally competent, any sober, sane person can believe in it. Why will we look for answers from people from the Bronze Age? This book was made from people from the Bronze Age. This book was made from people who had very, very, very little world knowledge. They still believed in magic and monsters and demons. They had no idea. They had very limited ideas and very limited understandings of science. I mean, people would actually kill each other in this book or burn each other because they thought that you were a sorcerer or you were a witch if you, I don't know, if you did something crazy, if you could read too fast, if you were too smart, if you were too different, if you did something strange, you could be considered a sorcerer, you could be considered a witch. And these are the type of people that wrote this book. Crazy people. Well, crazy and stupid, basically. The stupidest person in the world. If you could find the stupidest person in the world and have them write out everything they know about the world and, science, history, everything, it would be more accurate than the smartest person inside the Bible. But yet we look to these people for answers. We look to these people for moral guidelines. And to me, that is completely insane, and that is scary. This belongs on the shelf next to Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Jack and the Beanstalk, fictional books. But no, a lot of the world believes in this and live by this. And it's scary. And I know I'm going to get people below leaving crazy comments saying how I'm wrong and how I'm crazy and how I'm going to hell, but logic prevails. Given enough time, science can answer any question. Science is the key to understanding life. Science is the key to understanding everything in the universe.